In this video, I'm going to reveal the secret wealth and power generation system the elites have been using for centuries. And I'll show you exactly how I'm deploying it across a portfolio of 6- and 7-figure business clients to create marketplace advantages that no one else has. I'll also show you how elements of this system were used by JP Morgan in the formation of one of the world's largest banks, and how both US presidents and royalty have relied on these exact techniques to shape their empires, make critical policy decisions, and secure power. It's called the Wealth Magic Method, a 3-part system that integrates business astrology, wealth magic, and natal astrology, then layers all of this together to master something called the 3 pillars of power, which are knowledge, timing, and power. With the 3 pillars of power on your side, you'll understand precisely what action to take, when to take those actions for maximum effectiveness, and how to constantly drive power through those actions to extract the highest return on investment. Think releasing the perfect YouTube video at the most profitable point in time, and then using higher powers to pull wealth through that video into your business. This is really just a glimpse of what we can offer for you. Because here at Prophecy, we're the ones who stand behind the throne and beside the boardroom, whispering insight, weaving power, and guiding the hands of those ready to receive it. And to prove just how powerful this system really is, let me show you the level of influence it's had from Wall Street to the White House. Business astrology is one of the elite's best kept secrets. But if you know where to look, you'll find its fingerprints written into some of history's most important events. Once business astrology has been used, it leaves behind a trail, one that is unmistakable to those who understand astrological timing. Let me explain. Business astrology is the science of launching, birthing, or creating something at precisely the most profitable point in time. So you need to understand that not all moments in time are equal. Some windows are very prosperous, others are very disastrous. And here's the key. The moment something is created determines its future outcome. Put those 2 insights together and you have business astrology, the science of choosing when to act so that your success is baked in from the very beginning. Now I get it, I hear you. Elites, business astrology, it all sounds a little bit far-fetched. Except there was that one time when the founder of one of the world's largest banks said that thing about astrology. How did that quote go again? Oh, that's right. Millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. JP Morgan. But hey, probably just a coincidence, right? I mean, people say things. I mean, it's not like there's any actual real evidence, except for the part when the entirety of JP Morgan's banking empire was unmistakably launched using business astrology, and we can prove it, but sure, probably nothing. Oh, and actually, there was that other time when the Federal Reserve was created at a date and time that was clearly selected using business astrology. And well, then again, there was also an astrologer in the Reagan White House quietly timing key policy decisions. And actually, now that I think about it, wasn't it standard practice for almost every king and queen in recorded history to keep a court astrologer? Jokes aside, I'm not messing around here. This is real, and I'm about to prove it. Okay, first things first, humanity has actually known how to use astrology like this for a really long time. 4,000 years ago, the Babylonians were already tracking which planetary alignments a king should wait for before they would begin a military conquest. 2,000 years ago, this same system was formalized into a precise technique called electional astrology, which is the science of selecting the perfect moment in time to launch, create, or begin something important. But here's where things get a little bit wild. I'm about to show you that this technique written down 2,000 years ago, was used in the creation of one of the world's largest banks. Here's a quote from Dorotheus of Sidon, one of the founding fathers of astrological timing. When planning significant events, one should ensure that Jupiter and Venus are in strong positions, because this placement is believed to bring about positive outcomes and mitigate potential challenges. 2,000 years ago. Now, fast forward to the modern era. As a business astrologer, when I calculate launch charts, Jupiter and Venus are absolutely a top priority for me, because I understand exactly what good fortune I can create in a venture when I configure them correctly. But it turns out, I'm not the only one who understands this ancient truth. See, I did a bit of research into the corporate history of JP Morgan Chase, and what I found was curious to say the least. JP Morgan Chase is one of the most powerful banking institutions in the world, and it turns out it was also designed using business astrology. There were 3 key companies that merged to form this banking giant. These were the Manhattan Company, Chase National Bank, JP Morgan & Co. And here's the big reveal. All 3 of these companies were founded or commenced business activities at points in time that were very favorable in terms of business astrology. And I'm not just talking vaguely good dates, like it just happened to be on a full moon or something like that. No, these are highly engineered, perfected moments of time. I'm talking strong Jupiter-Venus placements exactly like that ancient text recommends. And I've got the data to prove it. Let me show you. First, we have the Manhattan Company, established on September 1st, 1799. The first thing I see in this chart is that both Venus and Mercury are exalted, which means that they've been placed in zodiac signs where they express their power with maximum strength and effectiveness. You can think of an exalted planet like a star athlete at peak performance, unstoppable and perfectly placed for success. But more importantly, Venus and Jupiter are in something called an applying trine, which is approximately 120 degrees apart. This is a mathematical relationship known to astrologers to produce exceptional wealth and prosperity. So let's pause here. 2 key planets in exaltation and the single most harmonious wealth-creating event in the sky. Coincidence? Maybe, but let's check the next chart. JP Morgan & Co. founded on the 1st of July 1871. Let's take a look what we see here. First of all, Jupiter is once again positioned in a sign where it performs exceptionally well, but this time it's also directly aligned with the Sun. In astrology, Sun-Jupiter alignments are considered to be one of the most potent and powerful configurations for wealth generation. Once again, we also find an exalted Mercury, which brings a lot of support to business endeavors. And this time, Mercury is applying into a direct alignment with that powerful Jupiter. Jupiter and Mercury are both business planets, and so when you configure them together, you're just attracting a lot of support into whatever has been created at that particular time. For added resilience, we also see this chart featuring an exalted Saturn, which gives this corporation an energetic structure that will stand the test of time. Any way you look at it, there's simply no chance that this level of astrological precision could be accidental. And remember, that's not actually a secret, because if we go back to our critical quote, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. Those are JP Morgan's own words. I didn't make that up. Those are his words. This is his company. We can clearly see those business astrology techniques being deployed here in his incorporation time. Moving on, let's check the next one. Chase National Bank, founded on the 12th of September, 1877. This chart takes things to an entire new level. First, Venus is exalted once again, but what's remarkable is that it's placed almost identically to the Venus placement from the Manhattan Company's chart. This immediately caught my attention because it's a curious synchronicity, but looking further into it, I realized that this had been planned, because the exact position where Venus was located was on top of the fixed star Spica, which is known for being one of the most fortunate wealth creation stars in the sky. For thousands of years, Spica has been known for granting wealth, fame, and success around gold, art, and material fortune. Not a coincidence. That's been put there on purpose. Next, Jupiter is exalted. Once again, we see this aligning exactly with our 2,000-year-old instructions on how to set up profitable incorporation charts. And just like the Manhattan Company, this one features a positive relationship between Venus and Jupiter, a harmonious sextile aspect which is known for generating opportunity, prosperity, and long-term financial growth. So those are the three pillars that formed JP Morgan Chase. Now I get that you might not be a business astrologer, so the connections I'm pointing out to you might not mean the same thing that they mean to me. But even if you've never looked at a birth chart before, you can see this pattern. The same planetary alignments appear again and again. They mirror ancient instructions, and they show up in companies that were building one of the most significant banking empires in history. This isn't opinion, and it's not speculation. We have source material giving exact timing instructions for creating successful ventures, and we have corporate birth charts that follow those exact instructions to the letter. And as if that wasn't enough, we have one of history's most powerful bankers admitting the commercial value of astrology. JP Morgan didn't just believe in business astrology, he used it, as I have just proved. He timed critical business events, analyzed company birth charts before acquiring them, and built an empire with methods that most entrepreneurs today have never even heard of. His rise to fame and fortune wasn't luck. He was a brilliant strategist, and in that role, he understood the value of harnessing every advantage available to him, especially the ones that no one else would be using. So hopefully by now, you're starting to pick up what I'm putting down here. The elites use business astrology because it gives them a rare tactical advantage. And unlike some of the other tools we'll be exploring later in this video, this one leaves a fingerprint. And that's why it's so easy to prove, and it's exactly how my team is able to replicate the timing strategies the elites have used for thousands of years. But astrology isn't just a tool for building wealth, it's also a tool for securing power. So let's take a look at how the political elite have used this tool, starting with the creation of the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve was signed into law at 6 p.m. on the 23rd of December, 1913. Pretty curious time, right? But the thing is, this time wasn't selected for prosperity, like JP Morgan's banking empire. This was designed for something more sinister: control. And here's how they did it. In astrology, the moon represents the people, as in the masses, the voice of the people. And in this chart, the moon has intentionally been positioned in a very weak placement. It's in a sign where its power is heavily afflicted. Now, as I said, the moon is about the public. It's about the voice and the ability of the public to rise up. However, when the moon is weak in a birth chart, it's like silencing the masses, right? It leaves them with less power to push back around whatever is created at that particular time. But what's interesting here is that if you look at Jupiter, the planet of law, institutions, and governments, it's very strong, placed in Capricorn, a sign which is known for order, consolidation of power, and strategic control. And it's not just anywhere in Capricorn either. It's in the third decan of Capricorn, which is a part of the sky known for thousands of years to create rule over the masses through structural control. And where is that powerful Jupiter located in the chart? The 7th house, which is the house that governs the masses. Jupiter here is like a strict CEO, focused on control and order, not freedom. What I'm breaking down here isn't just symbolism. This is a kind of energetic infrastructure. spiritual engineering used to lock in states of reality. And the more that you look, the deeper it gets. During the Reagan administration, it's a documented fact that astrology was actively being used at the highest levels of US government. After the 1981 assassination attempt on President Reagan, First Lady Nancy Reagan began working with an astrologer named Joan Quigley. But this wasn't just some casual advice. Joan was quietly brought into the White House's inner circle. She began timing public appearances, press briefings, Air Force One departures, and even the exact moments Reagan would sign legislation. And this is how real this is. In her own words, Nancy Reagan said, "Virtually every major move and decision the Reagans made during my husband's presidency was cleared in advance with the astrologer." Let's be clear, this isn't speculation. That's the First Lady of the United States openly admitting to using these exact timing techniques at the highest levels of global governance. And it's the same pattern again and again. The elite class uses astrology to time critical events. You'll find it encoded in the times when they act, and sometimes they'll just flat out admit it. And this doesn't stop with presidents and bankers, because this tradition goes further back than people could have imagined. Because long before there were central banks or press briefings, there were kings, queens, and empires. And nearly all of them in history had one thing in common: the court astrologer. In the ancient world, astrology wasn't always considered to be a fringe activity. There were points in time when it was absolutely foundational. It was used to counsel monarchs, plan coronations, schedule military operations, choose royal marriage times, and secure political alliances. Let's look at a few more examples, because the deeper you go, the clearer it becomes that astrology has always been a tool of those who intend to hold power. Here are some important cases. Queen Elizabeth I of England. She had one of the most famous advisors in history, John Dee. John Dee wasn't just an astrologer. He was a mathematician, a spy, actually one of the original sources for James Bond, and he was also an imperial strategist, even coining the term British Empire. Now, Dee used astrology to advise the Queen on state matters, things like political alliances and the expansion of the British Empire. So I share this to illustrate that these are high-level characters. These are people at the time who would have had access to the most secret wisdom, the highest libraries. These were the people who knew what was happening, and they were astrologers. Next, we have Napoleon, crowned King of Italy and Emperor of the French. Napoleon's rise wasn't left to chance. He was deeply attuned to timing, consulting astrology, and keeping Nostradamus' prophecies close at hand. From his coronation to his military decisions, these were carefully decided using astrological guidance. And then there's King Henry II of France. He used astrologers to select his marriage date, determine the most favourable times for royal coronations, and even planning strategic military actions. His belief in astrology was so strong that his astrologer was given a permanent position in the court, with direct access to the king at all points in time. So there you have it, a mountain of evidence pointing to one undeniable truth. The elite class uses business astrology because it gives them a critical tactical advantage. And this is an advantage which you could start using immediately if we were the ones advising you. So if you're ready to grow your business with these same timing strategies that have built empires and shaped nations, you can apply through the link below to unlock these secrets for yourself. Otherwise, stay tuned, because we're about to break down 2 more elite level advantages that can transform the way you do business. Okay, let's take a look into advantage number 2. If you thought that business astrology was powerful, just wait until you discover the secrets of wealth magic. We're now stepping from the realm of timing into the realm of power. While astrology helps you to act at the right moment, wealth magic creates this momentum which makes your actions unstoppable. Now, I get that magic can sound a bit out there, so just stick with me for a moment. Magic is simply a focused way to tap into the same cosmic energies we saw in business astrology, but this time with more intention and power. This is for people who are ready to go beyond the basics in search of true greatness. Let's start off with some facts. When I began practicing wealth magic, my business life really changed. I doubled my revenue in the next 12 months, while also attracting an entire new set of clients that allowed me to do more aligned work in less working hours. I also started noticing around this time that clients would find me instead of me needing to find them. And this was a trend that has continued until present day. And to be clear, these results weren't random and it wasn't some instance of luck. It was a carefully executed strategy where I was blending business astrology and wealth magic together. So let's take a deeper dive into what wealth magic actually is. What are we actually dealing with here? At its core, wealth magic is the science of channeling higher powers for material success. You can think of it as a type of energetic engineering, building invisible networks of power, almost like Wi-Fi, but for wealth. And what's interesting is that it uses these same planetary forces that we interact with when we correctly align our timing with business astrology. Now, here's a really important truth. If business astrology works, and it obviously does, as I've just proved, a universal force is guiding that energy, it's guiding that behavior. Wealth magic lets you work much more directly with that intelligence, which is building and guiding all of that harmonious wealth energy in business astrology. Now, the core essence of the activity is building relationships with income generating higher powers. At least that's the way that I personally like to go about it, and that's what's consistently generated good results for me. Okay, so to get practical about what this actually looks like, we're going to take a look at Jupiter, which is the planet of wealth, or the natural ruler of wealth in our particular solar system. So every week, during Jupiter's day and hour, which is a specified time system, I will offer incense and a simple prayer. Now, looking back at 100 weeks of this practice, I can say with certainty that opportunities find me very easily, clients arrive at the perfect moment, and my business stays secure. And like we saw in business astrology, wealth magic, not a new principle. In fact, humanity has known about this for a very, very long time. Ancient books have guided wealth magic for centuries, and the elites have continued to follow their wisdom. This is a quote from the Picatrix, a 10th century text on astrological magic. To attract wealth, create a talisman under the hour of Jupiter while he is in Sagittarius or Pisces and in positive aspect with the moon. It will draw prosperity. Now, I'm wearing this exact talisman right now, and I can tell you that it works, but I've got something even better, because we actually have a verified case of a religious elite carrying one of these talismans. Joseph Smith, the influential founder of Mormonism, carried this talisman to harness Jupiter's power. In fact, he kept it so close to him that it was found in his coat pocket after his death. Jupiter talismans provide many advantages for their owners, one of which is the attraction of support when building businesses or religious organizations. This is something that Joseph Smith was aware of, and that's why he carried the talisman close. Wealth magic is a real and powerful force in the universe, one that has changed my life and the lives of my clients. In one recent example, a client started building a relationship with the 16th mansion of the moon, which is a secret lunar intelligence known for bringing support in trade and commerce, especially around supply lines. Within only hours of making his first offering to the 16th mansion, he received an exclusive invitation to an international suppliers conference within his specific niche. When he attended that event, he had the opportunity to meet high-level supplier contacts. This is a perfect example of wealth magic playing out. We have intelligences with set specializations. For example, the 16th mansion is really good around sales, really good around supply lines, logistics, moving product, things like that. So we invoke the deity, we make offerings and prayers, we build that relationship, and then we experience events and synchronicities in our reality, which provide support in the nature of that deity's personality. And we have all different deities for all different purposes around wealth and business. In another instance, I made offerings to this same lunar mansion and made a sale 20 minutes later. Now, it's not always manifesting in such a clear and direct way, but these are not unusual results for us because it's just how wealth magic works. If there's a way that it can bring you wealth directly, it will typically do that. Otherwise, it will sort of meander around and weave the channels of the business, helping it to grow and evolve so that more wealth can flow in. And those are essentially the two states of wealth magic. Either these higher powers are drawing wealth directly, or they're inspiring you and guiding you to adjust the structure of the business so that they can drive more wealth through. And once again, I just want to remind you that this is not some new thing. Humanity has known about this. It's been in our collective awareness for a really long time. For example, in another text, which appeared in roughly 1533, Cornelius Agrippa said the following about Jupiter. Jupiter is the author of riches and honours. When rightly invoked, and his nature honoured, he grants increase in substance and all things conducive to abundance. So there you have it. That was 500 years ago, and yet here we are discussing the same topic. Because some wisdom, some universal wisdom just doesn't go away overnight. Things that were real then are real now, whether our species is aware of them or not. And that's a big part of the work that I'm trying to do here, is bring to people's awareness that our species has had a deep understanding of certain cosmically valuable strategic advantages in the past that we don't really understand now. And the thing which is funny about this is that these things are not that hard to discover. They are real. They have cause and effect relationships that affect reality. And so if you experiment with these techniques successfully, you will see the results. That's how humanity discovered this in the first place. It didn't pop out of nowhere, and we didn't really create it. It was something that we discovered, and it is there to be discovered at all points in time when a person is ready to approach that high wisdom. It's genuinely difficult for me to convey how much of a positive impact wealth magic has had on my life. But what I can say is that this is one of my most heavily relied upon toolkits when I go to interface with reality. And that should actually mean something when it comes from a person like me, because I spend all day, every single day, discovering and using techniques that most people have no idea even exist. I've been all the way back through history. I've found the golden nuggets, and wealth magic has a critical place in my system of magic. So coming from someone like me who genuinely is informed on these matters, it's something you should take into consideration. On some level, it does still amaze me that more people don't know about these techniques and use them, but I also understand where we are right now as a human species. I recognize that we follow very atheistic materialism-based paradigms, and there's not really that much deep understanding of the inner world and the higher dimensions, at least not as much in the West as there has been at other points in time when this knowledge was more widespread. The thing about it is that I foresee a bit of economic tension and difficulty coming in the coming years, and I really think that business owners and people who need a competitive edge will start to seek further and further fringe advantages, things like business astrology and wealth magic. And so it's wise to consider this, because if you understand this now and you get these advantages deployed early, this could be the thing that would take your business to the next level and allow you to have some additional support during the increased market competitiveness that we can expect to see in the coming years. One of the reasons why I focused so heavily on wealth magic is because I also know that the elites do use this knowledge. Magic is a tool that the elites have understood and used for centuries. And I don't really even need to explain that because you can see there's all of that symbolism around when you just look at different things that they do, whether it be Olympic opening ceremonies or certain art pieces, the symbolism is there. However, the magic that gets used by the elites is very dark magic, nothing like the type of magic that we use here. And so the thing to understand there is that elites sometimes have this really strange thing around control, and they have that desire to sort of dominate society. And that's actually a flaw in their strategy in some level because it only exposes them to darker intelligences and darker powers, which are nowhere near as effective as the ones that we can access by existing within the light. It's really not in my nature to enjoy trying to sell or persuade. I feel much more called to just inform people about the honest truth of different situations. And a truth that is important to understand is that if you don't have an understanding of positive magic or white magic, you're going to be fully susceptible to that darker magic, which is being weaved by the elites. And that's one of the reasons why I'm coming on here and putting this information together. It's not just about wealth and making money, it's also about reclaiming control and not experiencing these strange influence tricks that do get used by the elites. So I want to clarify that what we are offering here is a form of white magic. It is aligned, benevolent, and far more powerful than dark magic because it accelerates growth. It operates on the side of evolution and on the side of the universe, not on the side of destruction and control. I know this is not going to be for everyone, but that's okay because magic really is a science designed for that select few who is willing to break up and experience greater evolution. Like business astrology, this is a real tactical advantage. It's something that is generating real results, cold hard cash in the bank when designed correctly inside a business system, and it's an advantage that is being used by the elites. I think that this is a unique moment in time because as we start to put this information out there to the world, everyday people are beginning to access the same type of advantages that the elites have been using, but now they're doing it with the benevolent, higher, more white divine powers. We say white magic. So that is really what we have to offer here in terms of wealth magic. Wealth magic is a topic that is quite complex. It's not something that I can just distill in a small YouTube video segment, but I feel that I have shared enough here to potentially spark some curiosity inside of you, and perhaps you'll follow that thread towards its conclusion. So if you do feel that call, you can click below, you know where the link is going to be. The third tactical advantage we use is natal astrology, also known as the birth chart. Natal astrology is really important because the moment of your birth precisely describes the nature of your soul patterning. When read correctly, this can reveal how to generate wealth and achieve business success, what kind of business you should be building, the role you're designed to play within that business, your gifts and mastery zones, and most importantly, your larger cosmic purpose. Now, if this were the only tool we used, we could actually still generate excellent results for our people because it's that powerful. And here's why. This universe is an evolutionary system. At every moment, everything around you is either rising towards evolution or collapsing into entropy. That's basically the game. Survive long enough to evolve. And how do we evolve? Through knowledge, and most importantly, applying that knowledge, right? Applied knowledge. Evolution is really about recognizing truth in the universe and then implementing that truth to improve your material conditions. But here's an important key. Your personal evolution isn't random. There are higher patterns at play. Every soul comes in with a mission, something that it can perform better than any other soul. That mission is stored as a unique cosmic blueprint, which is mathematically encoded between the planets at the moment of your birth. Pretty interesting. Now, natal astrology is a decoding system. It's a language that can reveal your soul's design and the mission that you were built to fulfill. Once you understand your cosmic purpose and mission, the game actually changes. It's like there's a new set of rules that you can now play by. And the reason why is because you can now begin to commercially align your business to your soul's design. And when you do this, everything accelerates because you're no longer swimming against the evolutionary current. You're moving with the rivers of life. Remember, the universe wants you to succeed if that success will help you to evolve faster. So, when your business strategy aligns with your birth chart, you're able to unlock a new level of growth where many obstacles will just fall away. For the average person, the universe has to spend a lot of time and energy getting them on path, right? Dropping little clues, making business partnerships break apart that are not supposed to be there. So much time and energy gets spent by the universe trying to get people on path. But imagine if all of a sudden the universe could take all of that energy which it's willing to send your way and just push it behind your business like a tailwind. And like everything I've been discussing so far in this video, this is all very grounded in practice and logic. I mean, this isn't some theory. If you go and do this, if you align your business to your cosmic purpose successfully, you will experience good results from that. It's just a universal principle based off of everything that I just described. And I really can speak to this from a personal perspective because 5 years ago, before I properly understood how wealth flowed through my birth chart, I was a technician working for Apple. Once I studied the birth chart though, I realized that that wasn't where I was supposed to be. I was supposed to be doing business focused on teaching this higher knowledge. And again, just like everything I'm sharing here, there is concrete success to back that up. Because since learning this information, my income is now over 4 times higher than it was. I have no boss, I work from home in a foreign country, and I make my own hours. That's real, like that actually happened. And that's really what I'm trying to share again and again and again in this video is that this is real. Just because people don't know this stuff doesn't mean it's not real. And that's what I'm really wanting to share with you here. This is why natal astrology is a critical business advantage, one that is so often overlooked. You can have all of the right timing with business astrology and the excellent power that wealth magic provides, but if you don't align your income streams to your natural wealth patterns, you'll still be rowing a boat upstream. And granted, that boat will probably be more like a super yacht if you've successfully integrated business astrology and wealth magic, but the point remains. You're still flowing up the stream. You're still moving in the wrong direction. And that's why natal astrology matters. This is so important to understand. And you know, we talk a lot about wealth and success in this video, but there are much deeper layers to this as well, because life is not just about money. Money is just a resource. It's just a tool. And once you have it, you'll understand more of how true that is. There's other elements like fulfillment, joy, pursuing your life purpose. It brings a certain success. It brings a certain radiance to your life, to your speech, to your aura that is truly unmistakable. And those are the rewards that you will soon be able to access if you align to your cosmic function. And I can prove that. I can prove that right now because even just watching this video, I know that you can feel that I am operating on a frequency that could only be touched by a person who was working in alignment with their divine purpose. That's true. That's real. You can feel that. And that's what I have to give with natal astrology. It's very powerful and yet so often overlooked and misunderstood. When you understand what you're here to do specifically, wealth, happiness, and love, all of the above will flow towards you much more easily than before. And once you know this, you can start to structure your life, you can start to structure your businesses, your relationships, etc. And then you just add timing and power behind it. And so in this way, natal astrology is really like a compass, a divine compass placed into reality so that we know which direction to push all of our life force towards. So now you understand the 3 core components that make up the wealth magic method. But to fully grasp the power of this system, it's important to also understand the sequence. the order in which to use these three advantages, and also what happens when you start to combine them all together. Let's start with the order. This method is built upon a framework that I call the 3 pillars of power: knowledge, timing, and power. To use the wealth magic method effectively, it's going to be best for you to follow that order. So let me quickly show you how to do that. The first pillar is knowledge, knowing what action to take. This clarity begins when we explain your cosmic purpose, which is encoded into your birth chart. Once you understand this blueprint, the playing field begins to become clear. You start to see the businesses that you were designed to build, the messages that you're here to deliver, and the role that you're meant to play. With this awareness, you can make precise adjustments to your business when needed, aligning your offers, your positioning, and your strategies to make sure that they are in alignment with your natural strengths and your soul-driven function. Once you're aligned like this, your actions begin to gain greater momentum. You're no longer forcing growth, you're being pulled forward by design. Once you know what to do, the next question simply becomes when to do it. And that's when we introduce the pillar of timing, business astrology, which is the science of launching things at the most profitable point in time. Because remember, not all moments in time are equal. Some are rich with opportunity, while others are energetically unstable and even destructive. When you act at the right time, those actions will be more successful. If you're wondering what this looks like on a practical level, we provide our clients with between 3 to 6 dates and exact times per month for their specific locations. This allows them to lock in the best possible times for things like product launches, marketing campaigns, critical hires, deal structuring things, anything like that. Any critical business activity could be timed to perfection. Of course, you'll still need to do the work, but this is about what happens when you put your work out into the world. With these timing strategies on your side, you'll have luck and good fortune behind you. So with your mission now aligned and your timing perfected, there's one final step: power. This is where wealth magic comes in. Wealth magic allows you to generate constant energetic momentum. This is done by building relationships with higher powers, specifically ones that govern income, influence, visibility, and success. So once the right action has been taken at the right time, wealth magic just keeps adding fuel to the fire. It sends waves of energy through your projects, improving your reach and drawing the right people towards your work, often in ways that appear effortless and curious to outsiders. This is the ongoing current of energy that wealth magic provides. It's not just a single burst of energy. It's a continuous energy supply flowing through every client interaction, every ad campaign, and every piece of content. And the best part is that our wealth magic services are almost completely done for you. We set up everything for you and your business, allowing you to have full access to our wealth magic system with less than 5 minutes of daily time input. This is a system that was built by entrepreneurs for entrepreneurs. We get it. People are busy. Schedules are a thing. I wanted to build a system that would be lean, effective, and easy to execute for the average business owner. So there you have it, the wealth magic method. And if you want to see a perfect example of how to use this, you just finished watching it, because this YouTube video embodies every aspect of the wealth magic method. The topic itself is aligned with my cosmic purpose because it reflects the messages that I'm here to deliver. This empowers my speech and provides me with good fortune as I send this video out into the world. Next, I released the video at the most profitable point in time available, carefully selected using business astrology. The time that I published this video will empower it forever, improving its performance and allowing the right clients to find it and come to work with me. And every day, I will continue my wealth magic practice, offering devotion and building relationships with a precisely chosen portfolio of income generating higher powers. These higher powers will tweak algorithms, run through ad campaigns, and do everything they can to find the right clients for me to work with. And to take it even a step further, I'll then use business astrology again and again, launching more YouTube ads at the exact right moments, targeting the people that this message is meant for. So that's it. That's the Wealth Magic method in action. When you align your actions to your cosmic mission, when you time those actions with precision, and when you fuel them with sustained magical power, you activate a master level wealth creation strategy, one that no one around you even sees coming. Your competition will be confused. They will wonder how you're getting the results that they can't achieve. But the thing is, they're not even playing the same game. So these are the real, documented secrets of the elite class, the very strategies used from boardrooms to the White House. And if you haven't noticed, we're the only ones who offered this, and we take our work very seriously. So what else is there to say? If you want us by your side instead of your competition's, click the link in the description now, and if it's aligned, I'm sure we'll be speaking soon. Thank you.